That's why I call my thing the marathon, because I'm not gonna lie and portray this ultimate poise like I've had it figured out. Nah, I just didn't quit. That's the only distinguishing quality from me and probably whoever else going through this or went through this or is gonna go through this, is that I ain't quit. I went through every emotion. I went through every emotion with trying to pursue what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And that's why I call my thing the marathon, because I'm not gonna lie and portray this ultimate poise like I've had it figured out. Nah, I just didn't quit. That's the only distinguishing quality from me and probably whoever else going through this or went through this or is gonna go through this, is that I ain't quit. I went through every emotion. I went through every emotion with trying to pursue what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And that's why I call my thing the marathon, because I'm not gonna lie and portray this ultimate poise like I've had it figured out. Nah, I just didn't quit. That's the only distinguishing quality from me and probably whoever else going through this or went through this or is gonna go through this, is that I ain't quit. I went through every emotion. I went through every emotion with trying to pursue what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And
gentlemen, this your journey in Jarrell's journal. Say it now, stand up. Nothing less but the best. This your journey in Jarrell's journal. Pay it now, stand up. All over the globe. This your journey in Jarrell's journal. 2-6. In city stands up. 2-6. This your journey in Jarrell's journal. Let's go.
Bring it with me, the source of your information. Created to cover all sorts of sports and many players. In the making, there is none other like it. From the majors to the minors, it's tailored to be enlightening. To politic with the globe and unfold an athletic platform for the world to behold. Stay tuned as I cover your thoughts and views. Innovating a structure to stand taller for the player of the day, making way for tomorrow. Consistent content distributed with quality as passions of the youth get used, creating prodigies. The cornerstone for the call-ins and interviews, opinions, countdowns, trivia's the latest news. Bearing gifts, so this from me to you, guaranteed to be what you don't wanna miss. So have a seat, cause I'm back.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, this your journey in Jarrell's journal.
Welcome to Jarrell's Journal. Welcome to Jarrell's Journal. It is Friday the 26th. Thank you for joining us. Today we have a special guest joining us today. His name is Leroy Collins. Leroy is a former NFL player, played with the Jaguars, played with the Redskins. He's also the president of the NFL Alumni Association in upstate New York. He's also an author of a book called The Running Back. It is a true story about from the wheelchair to NFL. And we are going to have him on today. I'm so excited because it's going to enlighten so many people like me that have drive and people that need to hear that testimony. So I can't wait to add him on. Real quick, as always, I do want to express that all viewers, if you have any questions, you can go on Jarrell Heslop's consulting page and add me. That way you can add questions. If not, you can also add this comment to your post, and it will allow you to or allow me to see your statements, and we can answer those as we go along. In order to see the comments, please just copy and paste this on your on this post, and what happens is it'll allow StreamYard, that's our engine that we're pushing, that'll allow us to see who's posting it, and we can answer those questions. So without further ado, I do want to introduce my guest, Mr. Leroy Collins. Y'all help me welcome him to Jarrell's Journal.
What's up,
Leroy? What's going on? How you doing, sir?
Good.
You doing
man.
pretty good today?
Good. Do you hear me?
Man, I'm blessed. I am blessed. I can hear you, man. You clear, brother.
Awesome. That's what's up.
So tell me this: how you been holding up in the quarantine? First of all, man, through all this, pandemic.
You know what? It was difficult in the beginning, man, because you need an understanding, but I adjusted quick, man. I started understanding how to adjust and how to keep things moving. Transition to the internet. I had to midstream adjust. That's what I did. I transitioned to the internet, and then I just got things right back where I left off, even though I couldn't go anywhere. So
it's a struggle for us all. I know we've been at the house for the longest, trying not to make too many moves, man, and avoid all the chaos.
Yeah, we actually you're in North Carolina, right?
Yeah. So we're on phase 2.
We have a trip in Oak Island in August 14th that we might have to cancel because they have New York has this travel ban.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I just heard about it a couple of days ago. Yeah, so it's really put a stop to a lot of things around the world.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask you about that. So in New York, I know y'all got the travel ban, but are y'all allowed? So we're on phases. We can go out to work. We can go out, to stores and things like that. But we're required to wear masks. Bars and things like that are not open. Clubs are not open. How is the atmosphere up there in New York?
So basically, what they did right now, we're on phase 4 right now, and so our gyms are still closed. Our malls are closed. and we can have gatherings, but we still got to wear a mask. Like they had graduation today for my hometown. They had graduations, but everybody had to wear a mask. Everybody was 6 feet apart, and they just got brought everybody up slowly but surely. But we still have the same thing. Our gyms are like I said, our gyms are closed. But one thing they're doing, they letting us into stores now that's 100,000 square feet and less. So we're going like TJ Maxx, which is my favorite store. No promotion going on, just TJ. They open TJ Maxx up for people, but everywhere you go, you got to wear a mask.
Got you. And then you just brought up something. As an athlete, and you're athletic, and I know you still work out just as I do. How does that work out with you as far as keeping in shape during this time? Because I know me and my homeboys, we have to link up in the garage with, our free weights, and, we have to make it work out.
So unfortunately, I'm partnered at a gym. So, I have a gym to go to.
Oh, okay.
So I still can work out. I still keep my grind down. I don't know if you see the guns going up.
I see you,
I can still keep it going. But I do most of the stuff around here at the house too, because sometimes I won't go to the gym. I go to work out sometime, but I like the atmosphere. You know what I mean? Having people at the gym, working out with them, having conversations in between sets and stuff and such. And that's not happening because nobody's allowed in the gym. So sometimes I work here at my house. I got 3 boys, so I get them training with me, and sometimes I bring them to the gym. But I have adjusted to that as well. You know what I mean? Because I have my routine to go in the morning, have my workout partner. And now it's like, I get in when I can.
And when there's a will, there's a way. I was just asking you because, young athletes right now, this is a different state that we've never experienced before. So just training and prepping for the upcoming season has to be, just dramatic.
Yeah. So some of my boys work for NCAA.
Okay.
And they keep in contact with players. The Division I schools and Division II, III, these guys are not working out the same. They just running sprints. They're just like running miles and stuff like that, thinking they're staying in shape when they're, you got that soft tissue, you got that, them ligaments and stuff you need to work on, change direction. They're not working on because they will be practicing right now and they're not. So I would expect a lot of injuries this year if football happens this year.
I was just about to ask you that. Just the different states. So you went to D1. I'm from a D2 school, HBCU, Shaw University represent. You know what I'm saying? But just and even with the NFL, they're now promoting the HBCU for Black colleges combine, and the preparation that Division I, the Power 5 schools are able to, the facilities and the different things that they're, allotted to, and what we have to use and utilize in the D2 schools. What do you think that, how does that weigh out as far as the competition level and their actual chances to making it in the combine?
You mean as far as a player, like they're
coming from division to division, from D1 to D2 minus all the perks that you get at D1.
What is the chance of them actually going to the combine?
Yeah, in this kind of situation, having to prep differently.
Yeah, it's different. It's gonna be really bad for a person that really haven't had a name before this, because everybody gets a college workout. Everybody gets pro day. They get that pro day, and so I don't know if schools. Actually, they missed their pro day. So I don't know if school's how they're going to get the pro day. It's going to be tough for everybody. The sports has changed forever, man. Because you usually have that pro day and they get a chance to see how fast you are. That 40 time always changes somebody's mind about you. You might have a mediocre season, but you run a 4.1. Everybody your name is now it's being spoken about. So without having that pro day and being able to test that 40 time or having that senior season, that's going to make you, people like, you got to watch this kid. Gonna be hard for a lot of guys, man. Not missing that last year of sports.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to promote, because I want to get out. It's something we have to do to help these colleges, smaller colleges, D2 schools, as far as the proper preparation and getting the same kind of playing field as the D1 level, and that's something I definitely want to work on in the future.
Yeah. So what these D1 players, what these D2, D3 players, what they really need to do in order to really get their name out there. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. What they really need to do, they need to get film out. Like in high school, you in high school, what you do in high school, you send all your videotapes out to pro teams. You send you send out the pro teams all the like in high school, you send out the D1 schools. You send out every D1 school you want to send to because that's where you want to go. But once you go to D2 and D3, you got to try to send your stuff to pros to let them know, like, yo, look, or get an advisor or get somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and get your name in that in that conversation, because a lot of times they're not looking at a D1 player or D2 player unless they are their name. Let's say like that one D2 player that rushed for 4,000 yards in the season. You got to pay attention to him. You have to pay attention to him. But if you're not that player and you're still good, like a receiver or DBs usually are the best at a Division 2 and 3. They can play anywhere in the country, but just haven't gotten that shot or got looked at. They need to get their tapes out there and get their name in the front of these organizations and on pro day to really show out.
Gotcha.
And then they get that, because every college get a pro day, or you can even Division 2 player or 3 player can go to a Division 1 school and enter in their pro day. So they do that. They do that as well.
Oh, that's awesome! I didn't know that. So we definitely got to push this, especially this episode, for the young kids that I have on following me, to benefit from what you just informed us about. That's awesome.
Yeah, because I know when I was at Syracuse, I know I had a bunch of guys from when I went to Syracuse Pro Day. They had a bunch of kids from Division 2 schools and 3 schools that were there running at 40 times. So then it was like 12 to 20 NFL teams there. So they got to do research. Listen, you're not being looked at, so you got to go do more to be seen.
Kind of like you said, from high school, trying to get seen on the college level, send them tapes out, get them made, and show out. That's
do work.
Awesome.
You got to do work.
So check this out, Leroy. I'm not sure if you really saw the intro. Did you see the intro, or were you able to see it?
That was awesome, man. I like that intro. That was dope. I'm like this.
Hey, look. So when I think of you and I think of your story after learning about you, I think of Nipsey Hussle. So Nipsey, on one of his interviews, and it kind of reminds me of me. So that's why I really love it. One of my biggest attributes that I've always contributed to my success was my ability to have a great drive and be consistent. And that's like exactly what I think of when I hear Leroy Collins. You know what I mean?
I like that.
So,
thank you.
No, it's awesome, man, and I can't wait for everybody to hear the story. So before we get into it, I thought today would be perfect to talk about, or the focus be drive. On Jarrell's Journal, we always talk about ethics, decision making, and we try to promote a different way of thinking for all viewers, all organizations that may be watching. So it is a perfect time to have you on and learn about you and your story. So could you please give us a quick background just of your playing career?
Yeah, so I'm gonna start back when I was 6 years old, when I actually had the dream to actually play football. But before I had this dream and had this aspiration and this vision that I was going to play in the NFL one day, I was 6 years old. I was in a car accident, and months before, in a car accident, I was pronounced dead in that accident. I got hit by a truck. The truck ran me over, and it continued driving, ran over my head, fractured my skull. And I actually died for 8 minutes at the time. And then they actually brought me back. Actually, saying the grace of God, got brought back to life. But while I was in recovery, they was like saying I was going to be in a vegetative state for the rest of my life, and I'm going to be in a vegetative state and I won't be able to walk and talk and function on my own. But then when I woke up in the hospital out of a coma, I woke up speaking. I woke up talking. So right there, that shows that, I'm saying?
God had his hand on me.
God had his hand on me. Something has changed and they don't understand it, but something has changed. And then but after I start talking and I got a chance to be released from the hospital, I left the hospital with the information that the doctor said, okay, he would never walk again. He never better walk. I left out of the hospital in a wheelchair.
Mm.
And so they said I never walk again because I crushed my pelvis because I broke 14 bones in this accident. And saying so, but it was to get the fast forward a little bit. After being home for a while, I'm sitting in my wheelchair and I'm watching football on TV. And I'm watching, it's probably the first time that I can remember watching football. But I'm watching football, and then I said I wanted to play that. I said, man, I love this. I want to play it. So this thing came inside of me. It was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Yo, this is what you're gonna do. And I'm watching it, and I was so excited, and I just saw myself playing it. And so I went to my mother one day in a wheelchair and rolled over to her and told her, Mom, I said, I want to play the NFL. And, you know what I mean? My mother knew the doctor said I'd never walk again. You know what I mean? But my mother's a believing woman. She's a Christian woman.
Yes.
And she told me, she said she had my back, and whatever I want to do, she support me in whatever I want to do, and she'll help me get to wherever I want to get. Yeah. And that's all I need to hear. And from that point on, I used to get up and practice walking at every chance I get, walking up in the middle of the night, or like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I get up in the middle of the night and I practice on walking. I used to fall down. I used to feel pain. I used to be hurt. I used to be tired. But the fact is that I knew if I can walk, I can have a better chance of getting NFL. So I did everything I can to learn how to walk. And then I went on and played Pop Warner. And then I went on and played. After I ended up walking one day. Actually, one day I started walking. I started walking. Ended up playing Pop Warner. And then when I played JV, and then went on and played varsity. Broke the New York State rushing record. Smooth. And then on to college, I went to junior college first, and then on to D1.
That's smooth. And you went to Louisville.
Yep, University of Louisville. Yep.
Killing records, right?
I broke records. So when I went to my first year, I said I broke the New York State rushing record. I had every school in the country wanting to sign me. But in school, I ran into troubles in school. I didn't have the grades that I needed to get the Division I scholarship. I didn't have the SAT scores. So every team in the country wanted me. They used to come to school to look at me because I was a New York State rushing leader. I was number 1 in New York State.
Gotcha.
And so they all come to look at me, and but I didn't have the scores to get a scholarship. So that sent me to junior college. My first year of junior college, I get kicked out of school because of my stupid choices and decision making. So I get kicked out of school. But then I fight my way back into the conversation and go back to a different junior college, which is Alfred State. Went to Alfred State. I went there for 2 years, became All-American there, broke records there. And then like the same thing, high school was getting the same records. I mean, getting the same Division I schools calling me. The same thing was happening my second year in junior college. I had teams calling me. I went on recruiting visits, and then I ended up signing to University of Louisville.
So quick question. I want to stay right there real quick, Leroy. What was your focal point? Because I spoke about this last week with, or not last week, the week before last, with a young man. He played for the Chiefs, and we were talking about decision making, and you brought that up in school. So same thing here, and just us as black men, just to be honest, sometimes we can go down the wrong path, and we have to make sure that doesn't deter the rest of our future. What was your focal point on kind of, shooting a misdirection, but staying, keeping that focus on and getting on the right path again? Because we've all been through it.
We all went through it. So now this right here is huge. And this is my main part about my story. When I go talk about my story, I talk about this one thing. When you have a goal, always remember why you made that goal, why you had that dream, why you went after whatever it is you're going after. Always remember that, and I can always put you back on track. See, my thing is that I ran into so many mistakes and so many things that would have destroyed my career, that put me in a depressive state, that put me in a frustrated state. But then I had to remember like why I started this thing in the first place. So you got to have a goal big enough and be obsessed with it enough to go after it, that regardless of what happens, you always can go back to that point, like, okay, this is why I started this. And that's why I want to talk about my book, but I'm talking about my book. So my book is the running back from the wheelchair to the NFL, right? The running back wheelchair NFL. And I'm saying, and you see that title, the running back. So the thing that happens that when you set a goal and dream for yourself, you set that, and once you enter that journey, you go on that journey, and what happens on that journey, you're going to run into things that's not going to work out the way you want it to. People are going to tell you no. People are going to tell you not good enough. People are going to tell you to stop, or you're not going to, or you're going to fail a couple times, and it's something that you really believe you should have. But instead of quitting whatever it is you're trying to go after, instead of giving up on or going back to your old ways, giving up on that dream, you run back to the point. You run back to the point where you started the dream, where the dream was the strongest and where you felt the most motivated. Run back to that point, remember, and start the dream again. Start over again. You could, one thing about it, what people do, why they give up, because they don't know that they can start over. You know what I mean? And that's what I understand. I realized that I had the power of starting over. Okay, it didn't work out before. Like you take a test in school, you fail that test, you go back and study for the test again. You can take the test again. You don't just drop out and say, okay, I'm not never taking it again.
Exactly.
You can do that with everything in life. As long as you're breathing, you can do that with everything.
Man, that's awesome. And you know what? I want our viewers to hear that, because it doesn't have to be a young you to mess up and have to regain and refocus on that, you know, on what your, you know, goal is. It's going to happen again, or it's going to continue to happen, because the devil is, you know, is going to be messing with you and on you when you, or, you know, you have big things planned for you. So when you get in your professional career, and I talk to the athletes about this as well, because that's what we hear about on ESPN all the time. They get into these situations, and we have to look at those same focal points and regain, you know, reset, refocus, and what are we really, you know, set out to do? What is our goal? That is awesome, man.
Yep. So you figure that, like I'm saying, once you set out on anything, when you have a goal and a dream, what's going to make you tough? The only thing going to make you tough is the terrains, going through the misdirections, the going through the nose. So whenever you set to have a goal and dream, along that journey, it's going to be a bunch of no set up, a bunch of NO, like know this, know that, you're not good enough, you're not strong enough. It's going to be a bunch of those set up. But in that journey, there's a yes. So this belongs to you. Oh, yes, you can have it. Oh, yeah, you worked hard enough. Now it's yours. But now once you receive it, you're tough enough to handle whatever comes at you. But if you don't make it through the nose that's lined up for you, that's designed, you know, if it's worth anything, it's going to be a bunch of no's and the hard work before you get there, because of the fact that you're going to be able to handle the success that you have. If you just handle success, you're not going to be able to handle it. So you got to go through the terrains. You got to go through the tough spots, and you got to be told no a couple times to be able to be successful.
I'm telling you. And then on top of that, and especially with my younger viewers, former teacher here, and work with a lot of youth, and your father as well. Do you believe that there is a gap between our era, the previous era, and the youth today? Because like I said, I relate to you a lot, because I feel like drive is one of the things that really set me apart from a lot of people, from getting jobs to making it to, you know, certain places in baseball, college, and pro, and also coaching. It was my persistence and drive. But do you think like technology, or what do you think, you know, differentiates from us from the youth today? Because I don't see that same drive in a lot of the kids, or do you? You still there, Leroy? We got technical difficulties. So I'm gonna try to get Leroy straight real quick, but he dropped some serious jewels and I got him right here. So give me 1 second. We got you, my man. Hold on right quick. You got unmute your mic. There you go.
Technical difficulty. Technology, that's what we do. Listen, we adjust. Things happen, we just adjust.
That's it. Hey, look, you perfect example, man. Audible.
Yeah.
Nah, no problems, no worries, man. But what I was asking you is, we come from a similar era. You're just a little older than me, but the values were the same. I was asking you, do you think that our era versus the youth today with all the technology and everything that's going on that interferes with, you know, personal drive like we were taught up or we were brought up. Do you feel that, or you don't see any difference?
No, I see. The thing is that what really, just first of all, just being able to use our brains. Okay, you know that writing stuff down works the brain. It has like an actual therapy thing for the brain. You ain't got to write things down now. You can text it. You know what I mean? You can text things. Face-to-face conversation. Be able to talk to a person face-to-face. You know what I mean? Really look in a person's eyes.
Yeah.
You ain't got to do that. You ain't got to do that much anymore. You can do FaceTime or you just text message. So a lot of things has changed. And I'm saying, and it's not necessarily making the society now a little less weaker, but it's like a lot less dependent on compassion. Okay, compassion is not compassion. Compassion is not.
The baby is up on that ladder.
Yep. The compassion is not there.
Nah, you good, man. Go ahead, man. I got the same thing going on, man.
I'm sorry, man.
Nah, you all right, bro.
That's all right. Come on, baby.
Totally all right. Trust me. Yeah. I got two around the corner. I'm shooting off.
So you see what I have here. I have a bunch of happy kids. We had a cookout earlier, and I just locked myself in the room and I didn't press the lock, so it's all good.
No problem, brother.
But yeah, so that's the thing that we're dealing with now these days is these kids. A lot of them are. I mean, don't get me wrong, they are smarter than ever because learning technology.
I believe it.
Learning technology is the real deal. And so the reason why we're so behind on technology, as far as the older crowd, because of the fact that we weren't raised into that technology world. So these kids is raised into a technology world, and we're more raised in a socialization world, a socializing world. Because let me tell you one thing, because I do on-stage performance when I do motivational speaking, right? So I do that, and when I do it on stage, I like to connect with people. I like to talk to them, look in their eyes, look at their emotions, see how they just like feed off their energy, have them feed off my energy, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
when I first transitioned over to the computer, doing like motivational speaking on the computer, we had 50 people, 100 people online. And we're talking, it's almost like, there's no connection there. But then after maybe like my 12th or 15th speech, I see that people that was online a lot started connecting to me like I was right there, getting emotional. So it's almost like the digital world is different. The compassion, people became more compassionate to the digital world. Then it was just weird the way that I see how people was connecting to me more online after about 4 months of being on doing speeches and talking online a lot.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. And even when I previously used to work with the military, kind of sort of what I'm trying to do or what I'm doing right now, but with military service members exiting out, and that's helping with transitioning so you can be the best you can in the next level. And that one person, one-on-one person interaction is way better. I just don't like the internet like that. It's a different ball game for us, like you said, man.
It is. It changed the game. So what's your question about I think that the kids these days need, because the world is changing. I think they need guidance from us of the past to understand about toughness, to build toughness, to build we shake a man's hand, look at him in the eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though the social distance now kind of trying to take that away. You know what I mean? The COVID taking that away. You know what I mean? Look somebody in the eyes. And have a conversation with a person, meaningful conversation, and find something to be happy about. You know what I mean? That's one, because a lot of times kids ain't nothing happy. Can't find a lot of things to be happy about because they're obviously the computer, the technology, Facebook, Twitter, and all these other ones kind of like take over their happiness because there's so much garbage out there. And
that's facts.
I could go on and on about that crap, man. But I'm a 12-year-old now that you know everything because you saw it on Twitter or
As a lead, you still with me, bro? There you go.
I'm still here. Yep.
Okay. But now I'm with you. I got a 16-year-old, same thing. And we have to talk about, I'm probably the only parent of my age that I know that won't allow my daughter to get on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat because they get access to all these celebrities that do whatever they want. You know what I mean? So you're learning about drugs, sex, all this stuff straight from the person that you
Everything.
are, looking towards. And the same thing with athletes.
Yep.
And the same thing with athletes.
Yep. Yeah, athletes. Yeah. One thing about athletes. Actually, like now, I don't know if you notice now, athletes are bored. Like pro athletes, they're bored, so they're on Instagram and Facebook. They on social media like ain't no tomorrow, man, because they're bored because everything's shut down. So now they're acting out. These guys are going crazy, man. I'm like, man, look at this, Usher. You can get if you waste enough time, you can get a hold of any professional athlete you want right now on Instagram.
You really can.
A conversation with them.
You can.
It's easy.
And that's a quick segue. Any professional athlete looking out there, please holler at Jarrell Hessler, sporting consultant, to make sure you don't mess up and you save your brand and keep your value to the organization, because you're absolutely right. And it's not just the youth, but that guy. I feel that guidance that we had back in the day growing up needs to be overshadowed with not just the youth, but even the coaches that are coaching the youth. And that was a question I had for you. I see a lot of clips online where we see a lot of coaches for AAU, Little League, Rec. They are engaged in like negative behavior, either fights with other parents, fights with referees, things like that. And they're promoting this or not realizing it. They're displaying this leadership to the children or to the players, the young players, that then in turn go out and do the same thing on the court or on the field. What would you say to these young coaches, which I have a lot of, and I'm gonna tag a lot of them so they can send it. But what would you say to them as a thing of guidance?
So one thing that I say with coaches, what I say with every coach when I go talk to coaches, because there's some schools that like athletic directors talk to the coaches, is that these kids look up to you more than they look up to their fathers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So your actions, your behavior, sometimes they dictate that kid's action. And I just tell them to make sure they do everything with the utmost understanding that you are teaching this kid. And like sometimes they connect more than their father, because these kids look up to them like they're. So I would tell the coaches to make sure, always think about what they're gonna do, how they react. There's one coach, I'm not gonna say his name. There's one coach that
you still there, Leroy? Okay, got you.
Tough coach. Yep, I'm still here. Yep.
Okay.
You can look. This coach you can look at him and his players act like he act. But kids act just like the coach, and so I personally is AAU coach.
Mm-hmm.
They kick butt. They do kick butt. The kids act at you. Nobody wants to play them. They can't really get games because nobody want to play with them because they're bullies, they're troublemakers, they're this. But the kids act like the coach.
Exactly.
But this other team that, you know what I mean, that wins games, they lose some games, win games, but everybody loves this guy because the coach come with a attitude like, you know what, I'm here for you to make sure you're a better person when you get off this court, because me coaching you to be a better basketball player is one thing, but I'm also helping you be a better human being.
Exactly.
So that's what the coach got to understand. You got to help a person be a better human being, not just basketball, not just football, because you only with them for so long in their life. They got the rest of life to live, and what they're gonna remember is what you taught them, because they don't listen to their fathers because their fathers don't know nothing. One point is like, I'm an ex-NFL player. My son rather listen to his his coach, that's a science teacher, that take the afternoon coaching job. He listened to him before he listened to me. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I tried
Hey,
to do
man.
something. They said, "Oh, my coach said do it this way." I'm
Uh-huh.
like, "Yeah, but this is the right way to do it." But
Nah, you're absolutely right, and that's funny. The influence that a person that works at a school, that the kids have, the connection they have with these teachers and coaches, it is something to treasure. And I don't think that a lot of people realize it. I remember being a teacher at a middle school and high school in Fayetteville, and when I came in, the coach was young, and he was, like you said, he was acting out a little. He wasn't a bad guy, but as far as coaching, I don't think he had a filter. And everything he did, the players were, like you said, mocking his actions. And that's that's what happens a lot with these AUs, and they have to be mindful of this. And the one thing that when I was growing up, all the values that our coaches taught us, they were able to not only be reflected in us, but I taught some of those same lessons and traditions to my kids. And that revolving circle goes on and on. So those are things that anybody that's working with kids or players have to be mindful of. Whatever you're teaching them, that's a revolving circle, and it's going to go on, and they're going to pass it on to their youth or whoever they're influencing.
yep, exactly. Yeah, because it's like you only with that kid for only so long in their life, and they look at you as like the answer. And saying, so that's why I always like to tell coaches. I watch that, man. I coach kids, right? I coach Pop Warner, and the thing is that I absolutely want the kids to be better than they were before they started that season. And I'm saying, so I teach them football. Football is only one thing I'm teaching. Football is a way of life. So I teach them. I said, you can listen, you can learn. You're gonna learn more than just football when you're with me.
That's right.
These kids gonna learn how to push themselves to the next level. You're tired, I understand that, but just because you're tired doesn't mean you have to quit. You know what I mean? If you're tired, think proactively. Okay, you're tired. Get a drink. Take a little quick second break and get back in there and go harder than you did before you came out. So, and I mean, and there's some people just get tired. Oh my, they got to quit without having that next level to say, okay, I'm tired. I need a quick little drink, a quick break, and then I'm gonna go back in. When a lot of these kids these days, when they say they're tired, they mean they're done.
Yeah.
You're never done. So I try to teach these kids that you're not done. You're just tired. So now you're going to get tired because of the fact that you're not just playing for you. I love to teach teamwork. You should be playing for the next person next to you. When I was in Louisville, this is one thing I did at Louisville. So when I was the first year at Louisville, and I noticed there was a dysfunction in the team. Everybody wanted to be superstars. Everybody wanted to be a man. Right? And my thing was, I was the third string. I was the second. You still there?
No, I'm still there. I just highlighted you.
Okay. So I was the third string. If that makes any sense. So there's a first string, there's a second string, and there was 2 third stringers, and there's a fourth string. So I was one of the third stringers. And but the thing is that I saw so much dysfunction in the team that team unity wasn't there. Everybody man for himself, wanted to be the man. So what I did, I got chain links. I got little chain links, and I wrote a speech. And wrote a speech. The name of the speech was called "I Challenge You," and basically said, "I challenge you to be the best you can be. I challenge you to play 60 minutes without, complaining. I challenge you to give the person next to you the best you have." And I gave everybody a chain link, and they put it on the end of the shoe to make one chain.
Oh wow!
So
that's smooth.
After we did that, everybody started working together, and we started winning. We started kicking butt, and we ended up making it to a bowl game. Before that was 0-2. We was losing every game. And saying so. So that was something I believe that you could teach a person, like even at a Division I level, at the highest level, you can teach a person like, yo, look, there's more to learn in football when you're playing a game of football. There's things about life. There's things about teamwork. There's things about leadership. There's things about being selfless, you know what I mean, and all these things. And I think that I brought that to the table, and I bring that to these kids that I train now.
That's smooth, and all it takes sometimes is, and there's different types of leadership, but one leader to step up or display action for others to fall in line, and you don't even have to be vocal.
Right.
Sometimes it's just the way you move, others see it, and it
Yeah.
motivates them.
Yeah. And like I like Lou Holtz. Lou Holtz is one coach that
Yeah.
he can tell by your motivation, by the
Hmm.
way you move, by your attitude. He can tell your motivation. You ain't gotta say a single word. He can tell what you're about by the way you move. And I mean, and that's one thing. That's one of his gifts, and that's one thing I like to have. When I deal with people, I like to see a person, their disposition, to see like what kind of people
Yeah.
they are. And a kid, if they're playing, I can tell the kid timid, hesitant or whatever. And I expressed to him. Like hesitation will hold back your skills and your abilities to being whoever
That's
you
right.
want to be.
That's
Hesitation will limit you to be whoever you can be. So I always talk about, what I mean, I'm talking about the power that hesitation have over making you unsuccessful.
Now, I have a quick question for you, Leroy. My question is now, like I said, I always associate when I hear your story, I associate you to drive and persistence. And we're gonna get to your book. I haven't forgot about it. I wanted to say the best for last. Promise you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm be promoting it myself, and I'm about to order it. I promise you. But
Uh-huh.
were you able to? Because you grew up. You told us you had an accident at the age of 6, where you actually were pronounced dead for 8 minutes, and then were revived, and you use that as motivation to push you through and make it to the league. Now, did
Right.
did that drive also translate to other forms of your life, like schooling, discipline, self-discipline, career?
Yeah. So yeah. So now we said schooling. So what happened? Like, as you read the book, you'll see that when I was in ninth grade, I didn't know that I was in special ed classes in ninth grade. It says so that it's talking about drive. This is drive, right? When I was in ninth grade, I was in special ed classes, and how I found out I was in special ed classes and I
Mm,
didn't know as much as everybody else is that I heard kids talking about a test they were going to take and about them talking about some stuff that I had no clue. It said
okay.
so. I was wondering, why didn't I know this? Why didn't I know that what these kids know? I'm a freshman in high school now.
Yeah.
Like, why don't I know what they know? So I would start asking the questions. I'm like, yo, what's the problem? Well, I mean, what I heard kids talking about some stuff, and I don't know. I said, can I go into a class that they're in to do stuff? And I was told, no, I can't. I was told I'm
Mm,
not. I mean, I don't have the scores. I don't have the grades. I can't go to that. I can't go to the regular classes because I'm not at the grade level. I'm at the intelligent level. Um, so I fought it. I was like, man, I want to. I know that. Okay, I need to know more because my plan is to go to college, to be successful in college. I need to learn now.
hmm
So I just said, well, we got to take the test again, do whatever we have to do. So me and my mother fought for me, and we actually ended up getting out of the special ed classes into regular classes. So what
Oh,
they didn't tell me and diagnosed me, well, when I got ran over by the truck, I had brain trauma. That
oh,
my learning was different. So I learned different from everybody else. So that's what my diagnosis was throughout the years, but nobody ever told me that. They just
mm,
placed me in a class. So I'm in
wow.
school in classes with students not learning anything. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Because the day they took me out of special ed classes, and which I fought for like a couple weeks, and they put me into regular classes, general public, I was clueless. It
Mm,
was coming at me so fast. It was like a different language, and I was frightened. I was scared. I was embarrassed that even time I even acted out to get kicked out of class because I was just so I was embarrassed by it because I didn't know nothing. So now I had to go to the next level. I'm not going back to special ed classes because my guidance
yeah.
counselor told me that I will. She said, you're not going to make it. You're not going to be strong enough. And the work is too tough for you, blah, 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 or whatever. So I didn't want to go back to special ed classes. So I got tutoring. I got extra help. I got extra study. And after I got the extra study, extra credit help, I started understanding. I started learning more. I got extra from my mother. So I put the work in. So
Mm,
talk about motivation, determination. I did tutoring, studying for 3 years straight that I had no summer break. I had no winter break. I had no spring break. I had no Christmas break. I had
The
nothing.
sacrifice, huh?
Every single year for 3 years straight, I was in correspondence courses, extra summer school or winter school or spring break school. I had no breaks for 3 years straight because I was so far behind and I wanted to learn, and because I wanted to have enough knowledge to go to college. I didn't make it my first go around to Division 1 right out of high school because I was late. I was late. I started late. I had another year, I probably would have did it, but I started late because I didn't know. And saying so once I did that, I got a chance to graduate high school on time, out of regular classes, and now I have 2 master's degrees today.
That's smooth, man. And you know what?
You know what I mean?
I relate to that so much. Like I told you, I was a previous teacher. I didn't want to go into teaching at all. It was something, a backup plan. I knew that I could because I could relate to kids after playing baseball. You know what I mean? And then where did they put me as soon as I started teaching, Leroy? In the science class, and then part-time IEP, working with kids with disabilities.
Yep.
And exactly what you said is what I noticed. So not knowing how, not knowing that I'm not a professionally trained teacher, I had to go in there and be innovative and be creative as far as teaching. And with the, my special students, I had to figure out another way how to teach, how to make them learn.
Yep.
A lot, and what I noticed was a lot of teachers, if you don't have the passion to work with kids, or some teachers just there to collect a paycheck. But it is important for parents to understand who's working with your kids, what they're doing, and so you can avoid what you were talking about, what happened with you, because that was something that was traumatic and you didn't know it. But if somebody would have took the time to evaluate information, what I'm saying, they probably could have got extra help. You know what I mean? But this happens all the time with kids. So this is great that we're talking about this.
All the kids. Listen, there's so many kids. I had a discussion. I went into my speech one time and I was talking to people and I talked about just that, of how I fell through the cracks of again not receiving extra help, because I could have done it. I just need the extra help. I need extra work. I could have done it back in 5th grade. I just needed extra help. They need to let me know that, yo, look, this is your, and the thing is that it's hard to teach somebody they're not willing to learn. But I was willing to learn because I had a goal. I had a goal to reach somewhere, so I was willing to learn. All you had to do is like to tell me, like, yo, look, your scores, this is your scores, and you're not at the reading level or math level or whatever level, so we're gonna put you in special ed classes. That was never told to me. That was nothing. But me having that knowledge earlier on, I'd be like, well, show me, help me get learning. I had to find out myself because it was a conversation that I wanted to jump in that kids was having at lunchtime, because the fact I didn't know what they was talking about. I'm like, man, am I stupid? Am I dumb? I mean, I just felt that way. You know what I mean? And it just wasn't. It's just like I wasn't taught that. I wasn't there because knowledge that's not in is knowledge not going to come out. You know what I mean? Exactly. So they had to put the knowledge in. And once I went to the teacher, and I mean, the guidance counselor told her I need to change. And it was almost like, no, you're in this class is because of this, because of that. I'm like, I'm not accepting that. I'm a fighter. The one thing about it, I told myself that I was going to walk when the doctor said I wasn't going to walk.
That's amazing.
I died for 8 minutes and came back. You know what I mean? I'm walking around. I'm playing football. You know what I mean? That I'm supposed to never walk. I'm actually good at football that I ain't supposed to walk. I say, give me a chance, man. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
The thing that really got, it wasn't that I just had this fight in me. It was I was obsessed with a goal that I was trying to achieve. And that's the problem what kids need to do. They got to have a goal and they got to be obsessed with that goal and going after it. That regardless of what is in your way, you're going to find out, like, you know what, I need to be better. If you don't have a goal, you're going after a goal, anything that comes your way, you're going to fall in line with, you know? And I could have fallen in line with a lot of stuff, but I had a goal that always brought me back to the point, that running back. I had so many things come my way, you know what I mean?
Hey, keep it up, man. Go ahead, keep the book up, man. Let's go.
So I had this goal. that I was you know what I mean, always had to run back to, because you know what I mean, because I had this obsession with it, many things came my way: drugs, alcohol, girls, just like not just being like, just being defiant and all.
Yeah.
All those things came my way, but I was able to run back to the goal and keep me going forward.
I got you. That's smooth.
Most kids don't. They just need a goal.
And I told you earlier when we first started, I knew you were going to get to it, and I knew you were going to touch it. You just did. I referred you to, like I told you, when I think about you, I thought about what Nipsey said. The only determining factor is that I didn't give up. So many people have so much talent and so much, or they have the capability to be or potential to be so great, but they give up right on the tip. And they don't understand that they might be on the verge of breaking ground and it's right on the other side. But the determined factor of making it to the NFL and being somewhere else is Leroy didn't give up, or whoever's listening didn't give up. And that's exactly what I wanted you. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's the message.
So that's in a nutshell. You like hit it. It's not just not giving up. You ran to the circuit. So this is the thing that I talked about the junior college when I got kicked out of. I already struggled with school. I already struggled with schoolwork. Now I had drugs involved into it. Now I had girls involved into it, and I had all the other stuff involved into me already struggling with school. And now I'm on my own. Like I have my mom's support. Now on my own in college, on campus, struggling with school. Now struggling with everything else, and it was easy for that point to get kicked out of school to walk away, be like, it's over, it's over. You know what I mean? So it was easy for me to walk. It would have been easy for me to walk away because that's what so many kids do. There's so many young guys do. They walk away from the first time being kicked out of somewhere or being told no or messing up, knowing they messed up, feel guilty about messing up, but not forgiving themselves about messing up and getting back on track. We have to learn to forgive ourselves. We have to learn to stay focused, and we have to learn to always go back to our dreams. You know what I mean? And those things, if a lot of kids learn to forgive themselves, they will definitely go further in life.
Man, that's awesome. And you got it, man. You don't spent so many jewels today so far.
Oh man, I thank you, man. That's what we need, man. We need
that's what we
these kids
need.
That's why I train guys right now. That's why I train right now, because I want to see these kids do what I did. You know what I mean? I did it from a wheelchair. They can do it. Because what is it? Less than 1% make it to the NFL, right?
Less than 1%.
Less than 1%. And I made it there from the wheelchair. Told I never walk again because I believed I could. That's it. I believed I could, and I worked towards it.
Now the other message, and this not necessarily with you. Well, it could be. It's with all of us. The other message is not only that, and this is outside of this, but we have to learn how to, like you said, stay focused and make sacrifice. You made a sacrifice in order to get to where you wanted to. Can you hear me, Leroy?
Yeah, I hear you. Yep.
Okay. Sacrifice, that's the big thing, man. And I'm doing it later on in life, but I've seen so many cases where I've seen guys that should have been in the NBA straight up from around the way. Should have been in MLB, should have been in NFL. But they wanted to be a part of this crowd or do whatever they want to. You have to make a sacrifice as well, man, in order to, keep in line with that drive and stay focused.
Oh yeah. So yeah, you got. So the sacrifices I made was. You still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
You still there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So the sacrifices I made is that there was always times that I could have easily went the other way, because all my boys and friends I grew up with, I love them. You know what I mean? I love them to death. You know what I mean? And it was just that. Sometimes we used to hang out, but there's certain things I never chose to do that they did. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
And it was like a lot of times they was there to support me. Like, oh, don't do that. They was there to also support me that I didn't do a lot of the things that was going on. But the sacrifices I made was the not to go get into the drama and all the crazy stuff that was going on, because I had this goal. If I never set this dream for myself, had this vision, had this goal for myself, I could have done it. Could have been, I would not be here talking to you about right now about the running back. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
But my accident, I look at it as a blessing.
Yes, sir.
Because of my accident and because of my goal and dream to go to the NFL, now I'm able to be here changing lives, helping people to achieve their goals and reach that level in life. I mean, to understand understand that they have purpose and go after it. You know what I mean? These young kids, sometimes they don't know what their purpose is. They just want money, because you see like a lot of the young rappers and stuff like that, they flash money.
Absolutely.
They think money, and they think it come easy. And then so that's why there's so many easy to get drugs. So kids get so depressed, and the opiate epidemic was just like so big for a certain while. And you see these 20-year-olds are dying of overdose. I mean, a lot of it because they was chasing something, and it wasn't a dream. They was chasing money. And because they see that was like it's easy to get, but it's not. It's not easy to get. And if it is easy to get, it's not gonna easy to keep.
Hey, and that's a whole nother episode. I have to do it. That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
Hey, but real quick, Leroy, because I know you got to go, man, and I want you to tell us about the running back, because I'm being promoted it on my page. I'm about to order it myself. I wanted the people to learn Leroy, the author, learn about his background, and to love this book, because I'm on it, man. I want them to be on it, so we're gonna be promoted. But can you tell us about the running back?
Yeah, so the running back is basically what it is. It's a memoir of my journey from the wheelchair to the NFL. In a book, you'll see the book at first. You'll see that it's like I talked about it before. You'll think it's a book about football. You think it's a book about, the NFL and what. Basically what it's a book about. It's a book about perseverance, about motivation, about determination, about being a visionary, about being a person of no quit, not giving up, a person will fight. And it's also a book about compassion. And I'm saying, so you read about, there's a lot about my mother in there. It's basically what I say is my mother's, it's a autobiography, my autobiography, but it's a tribute to my mother. And it talks about what we talked about earlier is never giving up on your dreams, never giving up on your fight, never giving up on all your stuff. And I named the book The Running Back, because it's not that I was talking about me as a running back, scoring touchdowns, even though the book touched about that. It's about me always running back to my dreams, always running back to my goals, always running back to the things that dream that I had when I was a little kid to keep me going forward. So I named the title The Running Back to have like a little double meaning of actually me being a running back, but also whenever I go on my dream and I run to adversity, I run to things that make me want to quit, I run back to my dream. I run back to the reason why I started in the first place. And then I continue on that journey again. And that's what you always got to remember, that you always can start over. It don't have to be over the first time you fall. You don't have to, whenever you fall, you can get back up. It don't have to be over the first time you tell you no, because you have a voice to ask again. You don't have to, walk away from a relationship because you got an argument. You know what I mean? So it's so many things that you got to remember why you start in the first place. Like a lot of divorces happen because they forget why they start loving the person in the first place, because there's so many other things that come distracted. So you got to run back to the point, like, yo, why did I get into the relationship in the first place? Why did it happen? And then once you find out why it happened, all that other stuff that's there to distract you will fizzle away.
Man, so you're gonna be out here resetting mentalities, saving marriages and everything.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. You know what I mean? Because you already know, things change. Things change, and people. Listen, every day somebody changed. You're not the same person you was yesterday. Yeah. Like I said, nobody ever gonna say, "Oh, I'm the same person I was yesterday." No, you're not. You're a different person yesterday. What happened? You adjust to the new person you become every single day.
Yes, sir.
But the new person you want to become, you don't want to stray too far from who you were. You know what I mean? But you're gonna become a different person because we age. We see things. We learn different knowledge, right? We learn different stuff every day. And the more knowledge you learn, the more power you possess. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
So,
what? You already know.
yeah, I mean, the more power you have to, the more knowledge and more power. So
Yes, sir.
you're not the same person. And if you're not somebody that's sitting around trying to learn more knowledge, that's a problem for that person. You should always try to gain more knowledge in everything.
Man,
Yep.
I'm 100% agree with you. Hey, Leroy, you dropped so many jewels. I'm be reposting this interview. We're going to push a book. Like any viewer that's watching, all my replay viewers that watch, the reason I wanted to introduce you to him and let you learn the personality of Leroy is because once talking to him, how can you not be intrigued and want to read the book and buy the book and learn about the running back even more? I'm about to go order that. But
yep.
hey,
it will be a movie too.
Hey, dang, I forgot. I was waiting for the big.
It's scripted into a movie, so it will be a movie script. It'll be scripted into a movie and it's scripted in the movie now. But I'm saying as soon as movie theaters open back up, man, we're gonna go and start shoot. I'm not gonna be in the movie, but we're gonna be shooting, man. So it's gonna be a big, and it will be the #1 movie in the country.
I wish I had the little Funk Master Flex, the You heard it here first on Jarrell's Journal. I was waiting to say that, and I totally forgot. Yes, the book is actually going to be a movie, so you heard it here first, man. Go read the book. Go order the book. Well, I'm going to post it up. I'm going to order it, and then be on the lookout for the movie. Hey, Leroy, man, thank you so much, man. Blessings for joining me, man.
Absolutely. I bless it too, man. And make sure you send me your address. I'll send you a signed copy.
Too easy. I'm about to try to get it like ASAP. Seriously, man, because I already heard it was good.
I appreciate it, man.
I'm about to reach out to you in a second, man.
Okay.
All right, man. Thank you again, man. For real, man. I truly appreciate
be
it.
safe, man. Always strive and stay focused, y'all.
My guy.
All right. Later.
Hey, man, that was an awesome interview with Leroy Collins. Once again, he is a former running back. And I see you. There we go. More knowledge, more power. Indeed. But he is a former running back with the Jaguars and the Redskins. He's also an author of the book called The Running Back, which is an autobiography of his life. It's from a true story based on his experiences from the wheelchair to the NFL. He dropped so many jewels about with youth and how we should, be role models please go watch this replay, man. It can benefit a lot of people. And I'm going to be reposting it. Once again, thank you for joining us on Jarrell's Journal. In the future, in the upcoming weeks, we have some awesome guests coming on, some special guests, some that you see on TV. I'm really excited about. I'm going to be posting it. So stay tuned in and locked into my personal page as well as my business page. That's Jarrell Heslop's on Facebook. And my business page is Jarrell Heslop Sports Consulting. We're also on YouTube. Just type in Jarrell's Journal and you'll see the episodes as we are posting episodes on there. Once again, thank you again for tuning in and stay locked in, and we will see you next week. Talk to you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, this your journey in Jarrell's Journal. Say it now, yeah, that's right. Nothing less but the best. This your journey in Jarrell's Journal. Say it now, stand up. All over the globe. This your journey in Jarrell's Journal. 2-6. In city, stand up. 2-6. This your journey in Jarrell's Journal. Let's go.
Bring it with me, the source of your information. Created to cover all sorts of sports and many players. In the making, there is none other like it. From the majors to the minors, it's tailored to be enlightening. To politics with the globe and unfold an athletic platform for the world to behold. Stay tuned as I cover your thoughts and views. Innovating a structure to stand taller for the player of the day, making way for tomorrow. Consistent content distributed with quality as passions of the youth get used, creating prodigies. The cornerstone for the call-ins and interviews, opinions, countdowns, trivia's the latest news. Bearing gifts, so this from me to you, guaranteed to be what you don't want to miss. So have a seat, cause I'm back.